SHMACKEMAGOB, everybody. I never put this up. It was on my old podcast, and I figured I'd put it here. I want to thank Bushy from the Plug podcast at the Rockin' Pod Expo last year. He had an interview with Michael Sweet set up, and his co-host couldn't make it, so he asked me to be part of it. And I'm a huge Stryper fan, and it was so cool to interview Michael Sweet. And it was a great interview, and Michael told me, afterwards, the next day when I bumped into him in the lobby, that was a great interview, man. I was very proud of that. But anyway, hey, without further ado, here it is. Sorry, there was video shot, but I don't know who shot it. I don't know where it is. So there's some pictures of the interviews. So for all you Stryper fans, enjoy. And for you that don't like Stryper, why are you listening? SHMACKEMAGOB, here we go.
All right, so I'm sitting here with Ralph VIERA and Michael Sweet of Stryper, Sweet and Lynch.
Hey guys.
Thank you so much for being here with us today.
Pleasure to be here, man. An honor. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Thanks for taking the time. I had a moment to talk with you over there in the signing booth. Huge inspiration, and like I said, I found you because I almost had to in order to listen to metal still on the Sabbath.
In God We Trust, you were telling me about.
Yes, sir. I'm so glad you remember that. It's still one of my favorite records to this day, so I just had to get that out real quick once again.
But it's interesting because that's an album, obviously. That was our fourth album.
Right.
And we kept getting a little more slick, By the time we got to that album, it was very slick.
Yes.
So I'd love to go back and remix that album, but probably a lot of fans like yourself might not care for that, because there's something to be said for the slickness, right?
That's true.
Yeah, but man, it's a great album. It's got some great songs on it. It really does. Writings on the Wall is one of my favorite songs.
Absolutely.
I would like to hear a raw version of that.
Yeah,
I was going to say, if it sounds anything like the last three albums, please go back in and remix it.
Yeah.
Maybe we could do a modern day version of Writings on the Wall, because I agree with you. A raw version, that would be cool.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I like to say I've been with you guys, not on Rock's regime.
Yeah.
Because I live in Florida.
Yep.
Loud and clear when I heard on that the Metal Shop on
Yep.
the show with Teeth. I ran out and bought the EP.
Yep.
And I've just been following you ever since. The first time you guys came to Florida was Soldiers of the Community.
Yeah, man. Way back. 85.
Yeah, and then you came with Hurricane a couple times. They toured with you quite a bit, huh?
They're still out playing, but obviously not with Kelly. Kelly's with Foreigner now. And, it sounds amazing with Foreigner. But yeah, those Hurricane, those are the good old days. We did a lot of shows with Hurricane, believe it or not.
Yeah, you guys came back with Hurricane quite a few times.
We sure did.
But one thing that I don't think Stryper gets enough credit on is that, the whole metal scene in general.
Yep.
When you talk about rebellious, like, satanic bands and, it's just, I feel Stryper has to be even more rebellious than them because, number one, you sing, about religion.
Yeah.
Religion.
Absolutely.
And not only the metal, like, a lot of metal elitists, as say, but also the Christian community was against Stryper back in the 80s. As I remember, Jimmy Swaggart even said something. And I believe, I could be wrong, that you guys were fans of Jimmy Swaggart, your family.
We were. We came to know God through Jimmy Swaggart, believe it or not. So to see that he was holding albums up and telling people not to support us was pretty heartbreaking at the time. But your thoughts on being more rebellious, I've been saying that a lot lately in the sense that, it's real easy to swim with the tide. Try swimming against the tide and see how easy it is or how hard it is. It's not easy. And that's something we've been doing from the very beginning, going against the grain and against the tide. And I tell you, we've been spat on, we've had things thrown at us, we've been booed off the stage. We've played some pretty interesting shows over the years, but we wouldn't change a thing because that's who we are. And it's been difficult at times, but it's also been fulfilling because we've had an effect, this message, this music, on many people's lives. And at the end of the day, that's more important than the music any time of the day. It's an incredible thing.
Also, I'd like to touch on Against the Law.
Yeah.
Against
Oh,
the
I'm
Law.
so glad you brought this album up because that's where I wanted to go.
You know what I don't get about it is when people say, well, now they're getting away from God. But if you really listen, I mean, you tell me, you wrote the songs. The songs are still very positive and nothing negative. And sure, you weren't speaking about God, but you're still like morally, you know.
I think it was more during that era, that time period, it was more our attitude. So we took on a different attitude during that time. We really did. We were a little nastier. We had an FU attitude, and I think that was a tough pill for people to swallow, and I understand that. You know, we started growing beard stubble and like frowning, and you know, we're tough, and it just wasn't us. It wasn't us, man. And, you know, it's one thing to have a drink. I have an occasional bourbon, but it's a whole other thing to get drunk. Right. We were getting drunk during that period, going on stage drunk, hitting the bar after the show. You know, we were crossing the line for sure. And I think a lot of fans could see that and picked up on that. And I could understand, you know, them not supporting that.
But I still felt the music was positive.
Oh, yeah. No. There was some good music on that album. The thing that makes it difficult for me to support that album 100% is I feel like we became a different band. We should have changed the name of the band. Right. That's my opinion. Now, not everyone agrees with me on that, and that's fine. But we went from being Stryper and having our own unique sound on In God We Trust, to Hell, Soldiers, our own unique look, throwing it all out the window. We lost the yellow and black. We lost the guitar tone. We lost the attitude. We lost the message to a degree. It was positive, but we were singing about chicks instead of, you know what I mean?
Right,
we were a different band. So we really should have changed the name of the band. And maybe that would have made fans happy. I don't know.
I did end up seeing you in a little club on Miami Beach on that tour with Trickster.
Yes.
Yeah, Trickster opened.
Yep.
I'm telling you, I've not missed a Florida show.
Oh, dude. Hey. That was a good tour. Trickster's a great band, too. A good guy. Still in touch with them. Steve and I are in touch all the time. Great band. And, man, they were just kids back then.
Yeah,
they were like
first tour.
Teenagers, I think.
I was going to say, I could have sworn they were 17, 18 years old.
Oh, yeah, they were
when
so
started.
young. Oh, yeah. Super young.
Also got to say, not because I'm talking to you, this is the honest truth. The greatest DVD I own is your solo acoustic.
Really?
Oh my God, the stories.
Wow.
It's just shot so well and performed so well.
Oh, good, man.
And when I watch it, I can't watch it just once. And also, I like playing it when I clean my house.
That's amazing. Well, I'm glad to hear that, dude, because I mean, that not a lot went into that, you know. So because of that, you are kind of counting on the fact that it might not be as good as it should be.
It's amazing.
And so to hear you say that, that's really cool.
But
it's great.
You should get good feedback from that?
Oh, yeah. I've gotten primarily good feedback, but still at the same time, like I said, because not a lot went into it, I was kind of concerned about it. Like, is this going to be great? Is it going to be, So it sounds to me like it turned out pretty good.
Oh, it was amazing. And
good.
Your book as well.
Oh, good. Thank you, brother. Thank you.
Also, like I said this to you briefly yesterday, I've been following you guys since the beginning. I pretty much love everything. Not everything, but,
yeah.
You know, because when you guys came back, it was really, Reborn was more of a solo album.
It was.
You know.
It really was.
But still, like, what I feel, as much as I love that early stuff,
yeah.
I feel my favorite Stryper albums are the last three.
Yeah.
Do you get that a lot?
Well, those are mine, too.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, my favorite classic album is Soldiers.
Right.
There's just a rawness to that album and something special about it. But my favorite albums of all time are probably No More Hell to Pay, Fallen, and Goddamn Evil. Even more so, Fallen and Goddamn Evil. I mean, I'm very happy with the result of those albums and the direction we're going in. And we're going to continue in that direction. We're not going to drastically change things. We want to try a little more experimentation, stretch out a little bit more, but still stay true to what we've done the past 4 or 5 years.
You did a little bit of it on the last album with Ticket to the Cross.
We did.
I love that. It sounds almost thrashy to me.
It is.
I'm like, where did this come from?
Meets like some crazy thrash and, you know, dare I say, a little death metal vocals?
A little bit. And it's funny because people are like, until it gets to the chorus, it sucks. And it's, I think that reaction comes from the fact that they don't expect that from Stryper.
Right.
But I mean, if it was Priest, they'd love it.
Yeah. Yeah, because
everyone would probably be like, "Oh, I love this. I love the chorus," but because it's Stryper.
I thought that's what stood out the most to me.
Me too.
When you hear that, you're like, yo, this is Stryper.
That's my favorite part. I love it. When the chorus kicks in live, we're like, yeah.
It's insane.
But you know, it was such a shocker for some fans. They couldn't get into it.
Oh, I loved it. And The Valley is a song that, man, it really doesn't escape. You ever have those days where you just have a song in your head?
Oh yeah, man.
The Valley is that one. I
But
mean,
you know,
just sticks to me.
it's important, and I miss those old days of the anthems that stick.
Yeah.
The songs that just really go in and stay in, and The Valley is one of those songs.
Oh, it just sticks to me.
Yeah, and Sorry too. Sorry's got that groove, and it's got that melody, and it's fun to play live. It never gets old, at least not yet. The Valley's the same way, Sorry. So, man, I couldn't be more pleased with the direction we're going in, and we got to outdo the last album.
Which will be hard.
Well, we got to, though,
Yeah.
because you want to keep that momentum going, right? So you don't ever want to regress. Sadly, a lot of bands do because it's really hard. But, man, we got to outdo it. I know we can.
Oh, yeah.
Here's what I'm wondering. Was it a conscious decision? It's like, look, the hair thing's gone. You know, and I hate to say hair. I actually get offended by that. I'll call it glam. I'm okay with glam.
Yeah.
But that sound is dead in the water these days. Was it a conscious decision to, okay, obviously this is our guitar tone, this is my vocals, you know, this is Stryper, but we're going to be a little bit heavier. We're going to be a little bit grittier.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, as the writer, when I was writing for No More Hell to Pay,
that's probably my favorite of those.
I was listening to Soldiers and To Hell with the Devil.
Right.
I kept going back to those albums and listening to them because I wanted to come around full circle and bring out everything people expect to hear from us and dig deep into our roots and give them that. At the same time, keep some sort of modern spin to it.
Absolutely.
And that's what we tried to do. Hopefully we pulled it off, and we're going to keep trying to do that too.
Well, you absolutely pulled it off if you ask me, because I concur with his opinion. Those last three albums, probably the best stuff you've ever done, and I mean, In God We Trust, yeah, it's super polished, it's obvious hair. Your hair was up to the sky.
I've also noticed, though, lyrically, in the early, the 80s, it was Jesus, God.
Yeah.
Now it's kind of like you sing about Jesus and God, but without using their names much.
Yeah.
Was that also conscious?
Yeah, I mean, as a writer, I try to grow, not just with the production and the music, but with the lyrics too. So I dig a lot deeper nowadays when I write lyrics, like pull from, many different sources. And, what I try to do too, like I'll write a word, a line, and then the next line, when I get to the next line, to have a rhyme with the word, instead of just a standard rhyme, I'll go to a thesaurus, and I'll look at different words that can be used, syllables and whatnot, and try to figure out a way to make that word different. Reverie. And back in the 80s, I would have used some other word that everyone says. So I try to figure out words as a writer, as a lyricist that are different, and hopefully I'm accomplishing that,
You are.
But I don't want to get so deep that people can't understand what we're trying to say.
That's what I was trying to explain. It's like, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
It's no different than what you did in the 80s.
Exactly.
But it's not so blunt.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
In the 80s, it was very simple.
Yeah.
We are here to rock, and rock is what we'll do. Rock.
Come on, rock.
So their lyrics are a lot deeper now, but not so deep that they go over your head.
Right.
Because a lot of lyrics do go over my head. I mean, I'll hear them, and I'm like, well, I can't relate to that. I want them to be relatable.
Right. Something I'm very excited about, 10.
Yeah.
It's done?
It's done. First song comes out next Tuesday, called Better Part of Me, with Jeff Loomis of Arch Enemy soloing, shredding. It's a killer song. It's like a very Iron Maiden. Very Maiden and very heavy, very cool. The album comes out October 11th. I've got a duet on there with Todd LaTorre of Queensryche. I've got Andy James on there, Gus G, Tracy Guns, Joel Holkstra, Ethan Broach. There's a different guitar player on every song. Wow. Playing it solo. I'm playing all the rhythms. I'm doing a few solos, but I got a different soloist on every song.
I love the last one.
Well, if you love the last one, you should really love this one.
Because the last one was like much heavier than the
other
solo album.
Oh, yeah. But this one's just as heavy as the last one, but it goes up a level in all the different guitar players, which is really cool. You know, and there's definitely some Priest and Maiden influence on it, on this album. Big time.
Wow.
Little Van Halen influence.
Nice. I heard a little Van Halen in Bizarre.
Oh yeah, no, you'll hear that on this album. There's a song called Shine. It's got a little Van Halen thing. And then Better Part of Me it's got a Maiden thing. Lay It Down has a very very Priest, total Priest. Nice. It's a great album. I'm very excited about it. I hope people get as excited about it as I do when they hear it.
I want to let people know, and I don't know if you're aware of this, Michael. For vinyl collectors,
who wants to win some prizes?
No More Hell to Pay, Fallen, goes for hundreds of dollars now.
Yeah.
Get it when it's new. Right. So get the new Michael Sweet when it's new, the next Stryper.
Yeah.
No title yet for the next Stryper?
Not for Stryper. Not yet. No.
You guys in the writing process, or?
I'm not yet. I'll start working on riffs this month, like a riff and a groove. And I'll get probably 11 or 12 of those on my phone to get a good start. And then in November and December, I'll really hit hard the writing. I'll go in a room every day and write a song. The guys will come out in January. We'll start learning everything. We'll start recording in January into February, take a break for some shows, and then I'll come home and finish vocals. And the album will be done by May. Turn it in by May, and it'll come out next year, probably August, September.
I believe the same time frame was for the same with Goddamn Evil.
Yeah.
You started late in the year and it came out.
It's pretty much the best time for us to do it. January, February, March. That's the window. Any album, solo, Sweet and Lynch, Stryper, that's just the best time because it's a dead time to tour, right? So it's the best time to record. And we record in Mass, so it's snowing. You got the fire going. You bunker down. You can really where we record, we live there and we eat there. So we go track all day, have dinner, go to bed, wake up, eat breakfast, and go track.
Was it the same place you did the last one? Because I recall seeing a video of a hot tub.
Yep.
And it was very cold.
That's the place.
Wow.
It's amazing.
Where's that located at?
That's in Northampton, Mass, and we've done like 12 albums there. Stryper, solo, and Sweet and Lynch. It's insane. We love it.
Will there be another Sweet and Lynch?
I don't know.
Were you talking about something with Holkstra?
Yeah, I want to do an album with Holkstra. Now on this new album, there's 2 songs we co-wrote together, and he's playing guitars on, and they're really different. They're cool. A little more Zeppelin-y, White Snake-ish. Very cool.
Nice.
Yeah, and he's such a great player.
I'm taking away all the questions. Got anything?
You are fine. You are fine. I want to know, what's it been like adding Perry to the lineup?
Oh man, we love Perry. He's brought so much to the table. He's such a nice person. Brought a lot of peace to the band, and he's a phenomenal bass player and singer.
Right.
I mean, he's really amped things up and took us to a new level in terms of locking in and the vocal harmonies. He's an amazing singer and an amazing player. Really.
Boston.
Oh my gosh, dude, he's so good. So good.
The band.
Yeah.
Yes. How mind-blowing. I'm sure
Yep.
like the first and Don't Look Back were like the soundtrack of your youth. Right?
Oh yeah, of course.
They're perfect albums.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, joining that.
Yep.
I mean, how insane was that for you?
Oh man, dude. I mean, it was really surreal. It felt like a dream. Standing on stage, playing these songs, singing these songs, looking over, and there's Tom. It was wild, because that played a big role in my, advancement as a musician, as a tone master, trying to get the best tone as a singer. Phenomenal.
And it also shows your dedication to Stryper because that's you
Yeah.
had that choice. Right?
Yeah, I did,
Either
and I
Boston or
left
Stryper.
Boston. I left Boston to put everything into Stryper because Stryper is my priority. And a lot of people have come up to me and said, "What are you, crazy? You left Boston? What's wrong with you?" And I'm like, "Well, nothing."
No, you just got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, exactly.
Stryper is your band.
Of
well,
course.
all four.
Stryper's my band, man, my baby and priority, and it's like, of course I'm going to do that and focus on that. Now, someday maybe it'll change. Maybe I'll be focusing on something else down the road. I really don't know. Lord willing, hopefully not. Hopefully Stryper has many more years.
And many more albums like the last three.
Hopefully. That'd be great.
Well, Michael, it's been an honor. I'm a huge fan. I've been a fan for 30-somewhat years.
That's amazing.
And this is
Good to meet you.
You guys are awesome. You guys are
Appreciate
And
it.
I hope you thought this interview was as killer as I thought.
Great. It was great, man. It was great. I can't wait to hear it. When's it going to be up?
I'm on your Facebook if you want to post it.
Yeah. Put it up and tag me in it, and I'll get it up too. All right, guys. You guys are awesome.
Thanks a lot. I appreciate you again. Thank you. God bless.
Hey, check out my podcast, The VIERA Vault, on Spreaker, YouTube, and iTunes. Subscribe. The links are below.
Looking for some new podcasts to listen to? Well, Rat Salad Review Network has plenty of shows to choose from. Like Rat Salad Review, where they discuss the latest rock and metal news, as well as interviews and albums. Album versus Album, the King Diamond Podcast, with Wayne Noon, Greg Noggle, and sometimes this guy.
SHMACKEMAGOB!
Ralph VIERA is also on our network with the VIERA Vault. There's also Old Man Metal's Musings, where he discusses heavy metal and beer. Music is Life with Lou Mavs. The Right Opinion for those who love politics. A South Park podcast called Suck My Balls. The Infinite Fringe, a watch-along wrestling show called Beyond Bushido. Ex-Stradivarius guitarist, the Timo Tolkki podcast. And the Great Harry Barnett with I Don't Even Like Podcasts. So check out ratsaladreview.com or search Rat Salad Review on YouTube, Podbean, iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, and more.